to the Command Center Draft Special presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Get 20% off Commanders tickets this weekend using code COMMAND. That's code COMMAND on the SeatGeek app. Brian Cole Jr. here with Mr. 8-9 Santana on Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell. And fellas, it has been a day for us, but we are finally approaching the Commanders' last pick of this draft and the last pick of this third round.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling? Y'all hit every nail on the head as far as position of need. We got one more. You guys said y'all want a receiver. Do you think we see that here, Tanner?
You know, who knows, man? Let's close our eyes and throw the coin on the wishing well, right? I mean, I think it's one of those positions that I can see us, grabbing somebody that's out there who's available. We don't have to reach for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's one of the things about this draft. You've seen how strategic, Adam Peterson and Dan Quinn has been up to this point. So who's going to be the best available guy out, on the table right now for these guys to go out there and select?
I think at this point now, you're looking for guys, no matter what position, somebody that could come in and help the team out. And I believe that it's going to be some competition going on this year, which I think makes your team overall better. When people are not just handing something, it makes them a little better. So if it's a receiver or another lineman, we don't know.
Yeah.
But the ultimate thing is somebody that's good enough that you feel could come in here and push who's ever in front of them.
And I think that's the beauty of what we've seen from Dan Quinn and Adam Peters in free agency. They filled so many holes already that now at this point, you could just take best player available. And I think that's a good position to be in. Let's send it over to our guys in Ashburn to see what they think about this next pick.
That's a good inside.
All right, welcome back to the War Room here. Thank you, Brian, London Fletcher, Fred Smoot, Logan Paulson. I'm Brad Whiteside. Just a couple picks away. Pittsburgh's on the clock, but their pick is in. That's just 2 away.
Yeah.
At this point, I think it's hard to guess, but they haven't picked a receiver yet, and there's a lot of good options there. So what do you think at pick 100, maybe receiver?
I think maybe receiver, the guy that I keep coming back to, just from a culture standpoint, is Brendan Rice. A guy that's bigger, 6'3", 215 pounds. Tough as all outdoors, man. You watch him at the Senior Bowl, won every single contested catch opportunity, will block your face off, will play to the whistle. Not the most physically gifted guy in the world, but has that ability. Javon Baker from UCF, really gifted.
I like him a lot.
Very talented. Devontae Walker, very, very talented. And then Fred's guy, Johnny Wilson, man.
The giraffe.
There's not many guys on God's green earth in the history of the NFL that look like this guy playing football. So that's
6'6".
6'6" and a half.
One thing, if you get Johnny Wilson, let's just say he's slow on learning how to run routes and stuff in the NFL. The one thing he will be good at from the dough is a red zone target. And when I say a red zone target, when you line him up out there at 6'6", they have to take their tallest corner or safety and match him up while undressing their defense. So at the end of the day, I think he can unlock some things, and I do like Brendan Rice because he comes from GOAT heritage. Right? So at the end of the day, I know his father has taught him the game, taught him how to be a pro, and we talked about it. Size matters. 6'3", that's what we want.
I like a receiver. But let's talk about some other positions potentially. Maybe you draft another offensive lineman. Continue to infuse youth.
Of course, you want us glue.
Glue that big boy. You know what? You can never have too many offensive linemen. I don't think a defensive lineman would be in play in this at this spot.
I was wondering maybe like a twitched up Tracy edge rusher like Austin Booker from Kansas. He's 6'6", 240, has some natural pass rush ability. Mohamed Kamara, same type of thing. So maybe you get a guy here that fits that kind of mold, just another pass rusher. You can never have too many. And then you mentioned Mason Foster from Missouri, offensive tackle.
Peyton Wilson.
Oh my gosh,
He'll be off the board right now.
It may be something. Is it the medical? What's going on with him? Because of the talent. You saw how he ran at the combine.
His film's excellent too.
The production. It has to be something. The medical. Maybe some teams may have taken them out of off their board or dropped them down just because of that medical.
What about safety? Nobody's brought up safety. You got
Jalen Hicks, man.
Jalen Hicks is a guy that you love, but I got the 2 guys from Miami I love also. I got Kitchens over here. Then I got James Williams, who is really intriguing to me because he's a guy 6'3", almost 230 pounds. He can move down and play linebacker. That's what they think he will play in the league. And don't forget, in that Dallas defense, they had Curse that played along the line, another safety that's 6'3". So I think James Williams will be a great prospect, especially now.
Yeah, wide receiver is a position group that hasn't been addressed yet. I think there's room on this roster, so there's an opening here. But I'm with you on offensive line, too. I think the plan going in was to move back up into the first round, get a premier tackle. That did not happen. They went and drafted Brandon Coleman. but you might take another crack at it and put a competitive situation on the field with a couple of third-round picks and let them fight it out to get a spot.
So Brandon Coleman, you view him as a tackle. Do we go get a guard, a true interior lineman?
I think that's a great question. I mean, the next tackle on my board would be Mason Foster from Missouri, a guy who's got those kind of long arms. He's 6'6", more traditional build. You know, when you watch Brandon Coleman's left tackle film, I think he's got a really solid feel. So I don't know exactly the direction you go. I think maybe Chris Paul, you trust him. I have no idea.
This is it for a while. There is no fourth-round pick. They move to the 5th round before they get to their next pick. So this is a big one, I think, for Adam Peters to think about when building the roster here.
I think that makes it go receiver.
You gotta go. No, I think you gotta go unicorn hunting. You gotta go hunting for some oddities. Cam Hart, 6'4" cornerback. Kyrie Jackson, 6'3.5" cornerback. Like I'm looking for guys. And we talked him up, and now they done took him. So at the end of the day, I think people right now are going unicorn hunting. This is the time that you say, you know what? He might can't do this, but I can't find his size and his speed with anybody else in this draft.
Yeah, traits, man. Traits drive drafts. And again, maybe running back like Wright from Tennessee, that guy who ran the 4.3 at the combine, most explosive runs in college football last year. Like maybe that's what you're looking for to kind of add a spark to the offense.
The best running back left. You know he went Louisville.
Oh, Guerrero, yeah.
I've been telling you about 225 pounds, like 4.3 type guy. Not a lot of mileage on him also. So I think he's a guy that you can snag.
You know, you might just be looking for an athlete here too. I mean, you got to keep something in mind here. They changed the kickoff rules this year. You need to find somebody who can fill a role like that because it's going to play a much bigger role in the NFL this year than it will. All right, we're getting set for the pick. We're going to send you back to Detroit with Brian Santana and B. Mitch.
Appreciate our guys back out in the studio. Brian Cooper Jr. here with Santana Moss, Brian Mitchell, and the Rams just picked. So now we are currently on the clock. We talked about receiver a little bit, but now that we're at this point, what other positions of need are there? Do we have many, or is it, like you said, B. Mitch, just battling it out at this point?
It's about the battle now. I think, the position of need, they've done that. But still, you want to add people that are quality players on your football team. And they can grab somebody and may go back to another position that they've already chosen. But you want I just want to see the competition. I think that breeds true competitors. Brings more out of them when they know I got to compete against a guy. Guy walks out there and they think that, I got this job already, or you handing them a job. They're not gonna push them and be the best.
I think you can always, like I say, pile it on. I mean, I think I won't be surprised if you get another tackle here or there or receiver. Pile it on. I think when you have the opportunity to grab players because you have the capital, then go get it. You know what I mean? Go get them and let these guys go out there and battle it on and see who's going to last. But that's the great thing about having as many picks that we have. Like I said, we didn't have to reach too much because we got them basically sitting, waiting, and they're going to fall into our lap.
For sure. And at this point right now, this is the last pick of the 3rd round. We have one more day left, 5th, 6th, and 7th. B. Mitch, you're very familiar with those rounds, right?
Yeah.
A good player can come out of those rounds.
Hell yeah.
What are you looking for in those players, though? Because, of course, they're not the top cream of the crop. They're not the top prospects. But what are you looking for from guys like that in the later rounds?
But quality players that can do multiple things. I think, listen, you don't want your starters playing special teams per se, but you can start getting guys that come into those 4th, 5th, 6th round that can be guys that can be quality backups and be unbelievable special teams players. They have a new kick return rule now. You need somebody that can do that. Okay, and the guys that have to build up speed, not going to be very successful. Those guys that can instantly get to top speed, and the guys that are going to be covering. You stand at a standstill only this 10 yards from somebody, you got to be able to get up and get past them. So guys that can really get that acceleration up quick will be making those things happen.
Yep, and they say the Commanders' pick is in. They are announcing the selection right now.
Luke McCaffrey, wide receiver.
Oh, wow. A McCaffrey brother, a wide receiver.
In the building.
I got to give y'all flowers. Every position you said we would get in these 2 days, we have gotten final with that receiver. Tanner, how you feeling being a McCaffrey?
I mean, hey, McCaffrey.
Smart.
Those McCaffreys.
Ain't no joke.
They was born to play this game. So, you heard what the other one said he went through as a kid. I can just imagine what Luke went through. So, but no, honestly, it's crazy that, we have talked about every position. Might not have picked the guy to that position, but the position has been called.
Exactly.
So that's great, man.
Y'all did y'all research?
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, the thing about it is getting great players. And that dude right there, Luke McCaffrey, has a whole family history.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that in the first round with quarterback. But right here, You get guys that can truly play, and you'll see what happens.
And you talk about that history. Let's talk about Adam Peters' history. When he was with the Niners, he went and got his brother. So he has some familiarity with the McCaffrey. So very interesting that Adam Peters chooses to add another
guys
McCaffrey.
that are going to work.
Guys that know how to work.
Yes.
And that football pedigree.
Self-starters.
Yes, sir. That football pedigree. And speaking of football pedigree, let's send it down to our guys for the last time out in the Command Center studio. Fellas, how y'all feeling about this McCaffrey pick?
We're not surprised that it's a receiver that was chosen with this pick. Pedigree is definitely the word of the hour here with the McCaffrey family. Know about Christian, know about his dad, won 3 Super Bowls. Mom was a soccer star. Grandfather was an Olympic sprinter, medalist as Olympic sprinter. This has been an athletic family, and it's a good pedigree here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the size. I talked about us needing to get a bigger receiver, 6'2", almost 200 pounds, and he can run.
I would say it shocks me that he can run the way he can run.
Why does it shock you?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because anytime you tell me it's a bigger receiver, usually I think possession. I think he's more than a possession receiver. I think he can take the top off. And then I look at him running the route tree. The only thing I don't like about Luke McCaffrey, he ain't butting his chin strap up. Other than that, I love the pick.
I will say I think he does fit a need, this kind of burgeoning role of like a big slot receiver. And so a guy that can kind of be that kind of pseudo-high like linebacker, or not linebacker, tight end guy that's going to crack a safety. I think Puka Nacua with this pick, a guy that plays faster, catches the football in a grounded manner, very, very polished. So I do think it's kind of an exciting pick for a specific role. Think Greg Jennings in San Francisco. That's what we're getting here.
I like the fact that you saw him line up in the slot, and you also saw him line up outside. So versatility. You can line him up in multiple positions on the field.
Great release against the press, too. Love that.
Checked a lot of boxes tonight. Wide receiver, tackle, tight end, cornerback, defensive tackle, quarterback in a couple of days with all the draft capital as we send it back to Brian Santana and B. Mitch in Detroit.
Shout out to our Command Center family back in that studio. Thank you guys for all y'all hard work. We are done here. We are headed back to the career, headed back to DMV. We'll go get some food, man. Fellas, thank y'all so much for y'all time. I had a blast with y'all in Detroit. Shout out to all y'all for watching. Shout out to every producer on our team. We had 3 different locations, and we've made it happen just for our Commanders family. But listen, we're leaving. However, you can still follow all the Commanders socials for updates on 4 through 7. Those are rounds 4 through 7. If you want to get in on the action, tomorrow at 11 at the National Harbor Waterfront, we will be having a fan party to celebrate all of these picks and the picks that are yet to come. For Command Center, I'm Brian Cooper Jr., Santana Moss, Brian Mitchell. We will see y'all next time.
Peace.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.